The other big story this week, which garnered virtually no attention, was that the ethics, the office of director, the ethics office director, Walter Schaub, resigned. Here, let's listen to this. This is him explaining why on CBS News.
For president. His attorney also said he couldn't sell off his assets because he'd lose money.
I have no sympathy for that. I mean, he's in a position where he's going to have to send young men and women to die in combat, potentially, or risk their lives at least. They're paying a much higher price. So no, it's not too much to ask for somebody to incur a bit of a financial loss if they have to sell things off.
Schaub.
So wait, that's Schaub just explaining why he
needs to divest from things.
Yeah, why Trump needed to divest. And of course, he has resigned now with basically saying, like, yeah, the current situation, this is what he said on NPR, the current situation has made it clear that the ethics program needs to be stronger than it is. And he talking about moving on to the campaign legal center. I'll have more freedom to push for reform. I'll also be broadening my focus to include ethics issues at all levels of government. So the current situation, he's referring to the Trump administration.
The joke. I mean, yeah, he's referring to the ridiculous situation where there are ethical concerns are not even like a third or fifth or 50th concern. They don't actually exist in this administration. So I read something else also where he was saying, I wouldn't sit around and allow any business to do this. So how could I allow them to, or something like that. I mean, we've seen this from the beginning. It's not whether there are ethical concerns or not. They've completely ignored that part of what every other president, at least in recent history, has done. I mean, he refused to release his tax returns. He refused to divest from parts of his company. He turned it over to Beavis and Butthead there, who end up being involved in policy anyhow. Kushner's done the same thing. Kushner's out there selling Chinese visas. I mean, it doesn't exist. So for someone like him, what was the point in staying? You only sully your reputation.
And here is the other, I think, sort of problem with this. We're done with the ethical standards that we had prior to this, which may or may not have been, so great. But we're done even paying lip service to this. This is basically, this becomes the precedent. No one's going to be replaced to this office. This is going to be the precedent. Whoever is going to be president in 2020, regardless of who it is not going to impose more restrictions on them. Just politicians don't do that. And so it's another sort of baseline that has just dropped.
This norm is now gone.
We will never recover from this. And it is, because people can go check their news feeds right now. You can barely find this. It happened a day or two ago, and there's nothing in the news about it anymore. It's gone.
It's going to be completely acceptable to profit from your time in office.
And this is just another standard that we won't recover from. And
of course, it's not just that. It's not just the profiting from your office. It's the massive conflicts of interest that end up, where you're trading U.S. security, as certain people seem to have, for whatever it might be that where you can benefit financially. I don't know. I mean, again, I could see us having a revival of sorts if the right person came into office and reinstituting all these norms. So I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's not likely, and it would be very difficult, and it'll probably be a while before it happens. And I mean, it's just it's a failure on such a basic level. And in the end, as you said, we can't even report it because there's too much other stuff. I mean, Trump just got out of his 2.5-hour love fest with Putin. There's so much other stuff going on out there that this ends up being overlooked.
Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos